Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly wear, where my skin is screaming for some coverage and I am hoping that this new foundation can provide me with such. This is the new HAUS LABS foundation by Lady Gaga. Ping! More specifically, it's the Triclone Skin Tech Medium Coverage Foundation with Fermented Arnica. For 1 fluid ounce of product, it is $45. If I counted correctly, there's 41 shades, but that makes me think I counted it. Would they? What? That's just such a random number. I probably counted incorrectly, but it looks like a big ol' range of shades, so that's great. It is clean at Sephora and hypoallergenic. It's gonna give a medium natural finish and be long wearing. All great things, if you ask me. And yeah, the arnica is apparently going to reduce redness, help to even the skin tone, and protect from environmental stress. Here are the highlighted ingredients that are apparently going to do lovely things to our skin, like said, such as protecting and healing and calming, all of that. It's also vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. And it has over 20 skincare ingredients inside of this foundation. It's going to be ultra comfortable, long wearing, weightless, have a serum-like texture to it, and it's just going to blur the pores and everything for a natural skin-like finish, no slipping or caking. And use is easy peasy. You just shake it, use 1 to 2 pumps, and then you can use fingers, brush, or sponge to blend it out. So yeah, like I said, my skin is in a state at the moment, but this is good. We have things to test this on, try it on. I got the shade 110 Light Neutral, so hopefully that will work out for me. I feel like the past couple of products I have tried, the shade has been a bit off, so hopefully this time around I got it right. I always do my best, but I'm not perfect, that's for darn sure. Bottle is super pretty, really heavy frosted glass, and then it's got an H on the cap, a little slanted. It's design. This is design, if you ask me. Like I said, just really pretty and hefty. Like this might be one of the heftiest foundation bottles I've ever held in my hand. It feels more like a perfume bottle, but regardless, my skin has been washed and moisturized. We are going in no primer today. Looks a little less design with the cap off. It's just a very normal pump, and hopefully this pump works. Those are the best pumps. So here we go. It does smell like foundation, which I'm surprised. I thought it was gonna smell very herbally, just based on all of the ingredients and whatnot. So let's see, we're gonna try with the brush first. Looks like it is blending super quick and easy. Definitely very light and serum-like. I think I got the shade match, which is great! Yay! Won't have to worry about that for once in a few weeks. Maybe a couple weeks. I don't know, like I said, it's been a while since I've had a good shade match. And boom, that just, I mean, that looks beautiful. Very light, very natural. It has kind of a satin finish, I would say, so it's not dewy, it's not matte, but it's somewhere kind of right in between. Super pretty. Now let's see how it looks with a sponge. Oh good, got it in my hair. That's exactly where I wanted it. Yeah. Trying to cover up my glorious grays. I won't stand for it. Alright, I definitely don't like the sponge side as much. I think it looks dewier. Certainly sheared it out a little bit, didn't get as much coverage, and it just didn't blend as easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more, see if I can even out my skin here. Especially on the sponge side of my face. I just don't want it to dry too quickly before I can save anything. Okay, yeah, brush is definitely the way to go if you ask me. It looks gorgeous when applied with a brush. Covers up the blemishes, and these are big blemishes, so I'm really happy with the coverage. It looks natural-ish for a foundation anyways. I think it would look better without the layering, which I wouldn't have needed to do if not for having tried the sponge first. So at least for today, it's looking a little heavier than I think it normally would, but overall, I still think it looks nice on the skin. Like I said, I'm glad I think I got the shade match, so that's exciting. And it just looks really nice overall. I am really, really excited to keep on testing this and wearing it for the day and showing you guys those results at the end of the night. So I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup, do all that, and I will see you then. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening, end of the night here on day one. I don't know how I look right now. It was a volunteer night, so unfortunately my partner that usually helps me out with the meds, she is on vacation right now, so it was just me, so it was a lot more running around than usual, and also we have a ringworm cat at the moment, so I had to, in order to take care of her, I had to put on the full outfit, the gloves, the gown, the booties, and the bouffant hair cover. So I'm not sure what I look like at the moment, but I'm certainly curious to see what the foundation looks like. I got like the slightest bit sweaty, nothing crazy, but like I said, I'm certainly curious to check things out. So let's take a look. All right, not bad. Like not bad at all. Maybe on further inspection, I'm gonna stick with the not bad. I do think it looks good up top, you know, on the forehead and the cheeks and the nose for the most part. A little bit of fading on my nostrils, a little bit under the glasses. The part where I took it back was when I saw my chin mouth area. It is certainly caking and cracking around the sides of my mouth, but other than that, I mean, I don't look overtly oily or anything, and like I said, it looks pretty well intact. So I was not expecting that good of results after the evening I had at the shelter, but things look pretty dang good. So I am certainly curious and excited to keep on testing this, maybe with primer and the help of concealer and whatnot. Things will get to looking a little bit better at the end of the night's check-ins, but time will tell, we shall see, and I will be back with those results in just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening. It's the end of the night here on day 3 of testing, and boy howdy do I have news for you. It's more information about this foundation, exactly what I think you're here for. So let me show and tell you about it. On day 2, I went ahead and used my Skin Ink primer, my Too Faced full cover concealer, and a brush and a sponge with very light layers of the foundation to apply. I wanted to use the Too Faced concealer so that I could use as little of this foundation as possible, just so we could use the lightest layer of it and hopefully get less oiliness, less transfer, less things that a lot of people attribute more foundation to. So I attempted my best shot at using as little foundation as possible, and I thought it looked great. And for just one watery pump of foundation, it gave incredible coverage on my skin. The brush blended it very easily and my skin looked lovely overall. Just that satin perfected kind of a look. It's certainly a foundation look. Like, I wouldn't say this looks natural, but that being said, it looks like a very light, nice foundation. And then all day, once again, it felt lightweight and just oily in the normal areas, but I wasn't noticing any transfer whenever I would touch the oily parts of my face. You know, when I say this, I mean especially around my nose, where my nose gets itchy throughout the day or whatever, and I just lightly touch it to relieve the itch. I didn't notice on day 2 any transferring, or if I did, it was very minimal transfer. And then once again at the end of the night, it looked great! A little shiny, but there was hardly any fade to the foundation at all. It had cracked around my mouth lines, my smile lines, whatever you want to call those, cheek lines, but very little foundation wiped off of my fingers, or wiped onto my fingers off of my face at the end of the night with my wipe test. I mean, I just thought it looked great, it felt great, and it performed great. So very excited to test it out once again here on day 3. I went ahead and used my Cover FX gripping primer and then my NYX concealer, my serum concealer. I did foundation and then concealer this time around just to shake things up, you know, have a little fun. And I just used 1 pump of the foundation. Again, that's a lie. I think it was like a pump and a half, maybe a pump and a quarter. It was very little foundation, especially for me overall, but I used a brush and a sponge again to apply, and once again, very impressed with the coverage. Even though this is such a watery, thin foundation, I barely needed any concealer to cover up my blemishes after the foundation was on, and just overall, I thought it looked really nice on the skin. Once again, it's not the kind of foundation that's gonna fool anyone into thinking that that's your natural skin. I mean, maybe from from like 20 feet away, but certainly within talking distance, I think people would know you're wearing a foundation, but like I've said, a very light, nice, not necessarily fresh looking foundation, but just a nice foundation, you know what I mean? And throughout the day it has felt great, very lightweight, hardly any oiliness here. Today has been the least oily, I would say, out of all the days. And at the end of the night here, I mean, I am looking a little shiny, you know, on my nose and my forehead, per usual, no surprise, but it hardly looks like it budged at all. It feels good, it looks great. I should say it feels great too. It really does. I'm really excited about this foundation, you guys. I am very impressed with it overall. So if that hasn't told you anything, I'm still gonna give you the pros and the cons because hey, it's me and I like to be thorough like that. First off, for the pros, huge amount of credit in that very little product goes a very long way. I mean, I know a lot of products claim that, and a lot of serum foundations in particular, but this one in particular, I feel actually stands up to that claim. It's incredible the kind of coverage you can get with just the one pump. And on top of that, it's still very easily blendable. You can build the coverage if you want to do more layers. And overall, it's just very, very nice to work with. It's also very, very nice to wear throughout the day. It is lightweight, like almost incredibly lightweight, I would say. It is long wearing. It has lasted so well these past few days through many hours. Plus it has a graceful fade if it fades at all, and it's transfer resistant even with my oils, so that's great. And then for the cons, I actually had a really hard time coming up with any cons. The first one being that I think there might be a little bit of oxidation involved. I feel like my skin has looked a little orange at the end of the night. It's not terrible, it's not the worst I've ever seen, but I have noticed the slightest shade difference and the slightest leaning of orange with this stuff. Sorry, my cats are having an after poop play moment, I do believe. Pardon the noise in the background if you can hear anything. And then I know this kind of contradicts with the transfer resistant pro that I mentioned, but I should say that with oils, that's when I do notice any transfer, if any at all. So there is a little bit of transfer, kind of, with oils, but it is not the kind that you worry about when you dab your nose to itch at it or something. Like, there's no worries involved here. But I thought I would mention it in case you have like hyper oily skin. I don't know if maybe that's gonna make a difference or anything, but either way, like I said, I have had a very good experience with this foundation overall. I am very curious to keep on testing it out and wearing it, especially as a mix-in with my dewier foundations, like my Purely's BB cream or my Say Tinted Hydrator Moisturizer, whatever it's called. I would love to mix in a little bit of this with those and just see how that amps up the coverage while keeping that dewy, natural look that I prefer nowadays. Either way, I am just so excited to keep on working with this stuff.
Yes, gee, was that a good poopy?
Yeah. I hope this review was helpful for you all. Thank you for the suggestion on wanting to see me test this out. As always, you can leave those recommendations down below and I will do my best to hop on it if it is a product that I am also curious about testing here. You can also let me know if you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, whatever the case may be, by giving me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe, tippity tap that notification bell down below, and become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!